Is it more about the Cowboys and how they looked, or the Eagles suddenly look a whole lot more vulnerable than they did maybe a few weeks ago?
Like anything else, Dan, it's probably a little of both. The Cowboys look great right now. And one of the keys, as we talk about Dak having an MVP year, CeeDee Lamb, he was the only receiver going into this game over 500 yards in the slot and as a receiver. He's been incredible. Jake Ferguson in the middle of the field. But their old line, which has two Hall of Famers on it, and Tyron Smith at left tackle and Zach Martin at right guard, who have been nicked up the last couple of years, they're healthy. Tyron Smith has the best pass blocking pressure percentage, the lowest of any left tackle in the league. Tyler Smith, the guard, is number 2, and the right guard, Zach Martin, is number 3. They're healthy. That's been a big part of them being so good. Their defense has been good from the beginning this year. And for Philadelphia, they've had injuries in the secondaries. One of the reasons they got Byard from Tennessee. They got Shaq Leonard from the Colts after they cut him because they've had some injuries at the linebacker position. The only real stable position there is the defensive line where they have good depth. They're giving up way too much in the middle of the field on passes. And I'm telling you, Dan, watching Jalen last night, it looks like his knee is bugging him. And he's been wearing that like sleeve or brace. And let me just say, when you play week to week, you know what's not happening? You're not healing. All right. You're just staying status quo and trying to keep your head above water. It looks like he's affecting him. And it looked like in some of the passes, as there was beginning to be some pressure, that he was bailing on some of his throws. When you're throwing crossing routes, the ball's got to be zipped so you can hit your receiver in stride so they get yards after the catch. His receivers a couple of times on those routes had to kind of slow up. And when they caught the ball, the defender would be right there to make a tackle.
And what is Dak doing differently? Let's say in the last, or I don't know if it's just Dak, but it feels like the offense changed from what Mike McCarthy wanted, was a running attack at the beginning of the year.
I think Dak is reading coverages better. I think that's where I think Jalen last year took a step in that direction. I think Dak has as well. Because to me, always for a quarterback, the most important column for me is the interception column. And you see, he had 15 last year and 6 this year. He's not turning the ball over, where Jalen had, coming into the game, 10 interceptions and lost 4 fumbles and lost one again last night. So I think Dak is reading better. The pass protection is good, again, because of the healthy old line, which is giving him a little more time and protection in the pocket. And like I said, I think he's just reading and throwing the ball better than he did last year, where last year he's trying to fit it in. And there were tight windows last night. By the way, his completion percentage wasn't great last night compared to the last 4 games. He still tries to fit it into that tight window at times, which led to trouble last year. At this point this year, it hasn't led to that kind of trouble.